Happy Friday, friends. Matt with Eddie's Guitars coming to you, as always, from St. Louis, Missouri. We're going to have a knockout day today for our live stream. We've got a few really incredible guitars on the wall behind me, including this one sitting in my lap that we're going to take a close look at here in just a moment. But just wanted to say I appreciate you joining us. Of course, as always, we have Jandro kind of running the ship here behind the controls.
What's up, guys? How's it going?
And like I said, man, we seems like the past few live streams we have just had some knockout guitars, and this week is no different. Perhaps even stepping it up another notch compared to what we've been used to the past few weeks. So we are eager to jump into it and get into some of these guitars that we've gotten in the past couple of weeks here. This first guitar that we have off the wall is a new line for Eddie's Guitars. In fact, you folks may have seen the unboxing that we did for this guitar about a week or so ago. This is the Roggero RGo-M, and I'll tell you what, this is an incredible instrument. Bryce Roggero, as I said, is a new builder for Eddie's Guitars. This is the first example that we've had. This is kind of his OM cutaway model. Jandro, let's take a look at these woods, if we could there, please. We've got a Swiss moon spruce top on this beautiful guitar. I'll just tell you, the silhouette of the shape of this guitar is absolutely gorgeous. I love this. Very kind of Samaji inspired, I would say, just in terms of its shape, its cutaway and everything. The back and sides of this guitar are in just crazy nice set of Madagascar rosewood as well, including beautiful Madagascar rosewood sides. But we've got a real nice straight grain orientation there on the back. Whole guitar is bound in ebony binding, or the Rocklight Ebano ebony binding. We also have that really beautiful forearm bevel with just some excellent detail, kind of swoops into the bevel. And then at the very end, I'm going to get up close here if we could. The very end there, we've got a nice little detail that's sort of a callback to the rosette, which I'm going to give you a close-up of. I'm realizing I'm not speaking into the mics here, so I'm going to see if I can do both at the same time. We've got spalted maple, koa, and Madagascar rosewood present in that really incredible kind of segmented rosette there. Little nice detail on the tail wedge of this guitar as well. Excuse the fingerprints. Really nice. Just the attention to detail, the woodworking talent that's present in this guitar is really spectacular. Really spectacular. And it's got like an extra airy, very articulate voice to it. Nice, bright, resonant sound. Really harmonically rich. Really long sustained too. Man, that's awesome. I'm going to have you switch that one more time if I could there, Jandro. Take a look at the headstock here. We've got a Madagascar rosewood veneer on the face of the headstock there with Bryce's beautiful logo all the way up top there. See if we can get this into focus here. I'm sorry about that. There we go. We also have a matching Madagascar rosewood fingerboard with, at first glance, it almost looks like it doesn't have inlays, but if you look at the sides of the fingerboard here, you can see that they have kind of it shares both the front facing and the player facing kind of in the same edge fingerboard inlays there, which is really nice. I like how he switches it once he gets to the 12th fret. He goes to this side, which is pretty cool. Really nice details. The fingerboard extension of this, as I said in our unboxing, is seriously like dangerous looking. Very sharp. I like how it has a nice healthy portion that goes actually over the sound hole. Stylistically, it's beautiful. You can also see the kind of relieved area, especially under that low E string there, kind of exposing the actual top of the guitar. So just some really cool detail work. We do have a pinless bridge, as you can see as well, done in Madagascar rosewood. Absolutely excellent shape to this bridge. Very elegant. Again, very sharp looking. As I said, it's the pinless design, so you can see the ball ends being fed through the back of the bridge there. Just all sorts of cool details on this guitar. The finish work, the binding, the purfling, the mitering of everything is very, very serious stuff. This is, though Bryce has not built, you know, hundreds or thousands of guitars yet in his career, I'm just seeing the attention to detail in this guitar, and it is shockingly great for somebody who hasn't had that long of a career just yet. So
we actually have Bryce in the chat right now.
Oh, awesome. Bryce, great to have you. Bryce is in the chat with us here, Mr. Roggero.
He's actually answering questions for us. Someone asked how many guitars they're building. He said around 6 to 8 a year.
Beautiful, beautiful. And this is number 19, is that correct? Number 19. So, yeah, like I said, a very, you know, relatively speaking, again, Bryce, young builder, so to speak. But again, just insane detail throughout this entire guitar. And I just need to say, too, the wood selection that we were able to choose with Bryce's help here, you know, emailing photos back and forth and everything. We are very satisfied with the tone wood situation that we have going on in this guitar. So, Bryce, really, really appreciate you joining us here, and really appreciate you sending this guitar as well. Like I said, that sustain just keeps on going. This guitar has the standard 1 3/4 inch nut width. We also have the 2 1/4 spacing down here at the bridge. The neck profile on this guitar is absolutely nothing to complain about at all. It's a very even round C profile. It feels great in the hand. Like I said, absolutely nothing to complain about at all. We've got the Jescar Evo Gold frets. And one of the first things that I noticed when we actually did the unboxing, I can't remember if I mentioned it now or not, but the it's like going to a really nice like street taco shop, and they do the shells just right. It's like the tiniest thing, but you know, if they've accomplished that, everything else is taken care of. Likewise, when I saw the hemispherical fret ends on this guitar, I thought, boy, if this guy's got that detail down already, I don't need to worry about anything on the rest of this guitar. The fret ends are like rounded at the end. If you don't know what hemispherical fret ends are, Google that. It's a beautiful thing. I don't think this camera is going to catch that detail, so I won't bother Jandro with that. But it's a beautiful thing to look down at and just, again, see the handwork and the craftsmanship in every single fret. Really handsomely done here. We're very excited to see what else we're going to get from Bryce in the future. Bryce, thanks for joining us in the live stream here. We do appreciate you and your instrument here.
Got a question from Tomas Montano. I was wondering if you have any experience playing small-bodied guitars, L00 size shape, with Sitka and Wenge. If so, how would you describe the tone? I'm about to receive my first custom build with these tone woods.
Oh, awesome! Well, congrats, Tomas. That sounds like an excellent tone wood combination. I have never played that combo in an LOO kind of configuration. In fact, I love Wenge. I wish that we could find more of it. Most builders out there either don't want to work with it because it's really difficult to work with, or they just don't have it to begin with. I love Wenge. We've had a few guitars in here. Sorry, folks, we've got little fruit flies in here that are going to drive us all mad. I'll tell you, Tomas, shoot me an email after you receive that guitar. Let me know what you think of it. And I would also, if you don't mind sharing with the group chat here, who's building that guitar, we would be curious, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Next guitar off the wall, folks, we have a shocking guitar from my good friend, Mr. Dana Bourgeois. This is an OM42 with some pretty generous upgrades that we were able to kind of apply to it. We have long been a Bourgeois dealer now, gladly. I got to tell you, I've always been impressed by Dana's guitars. I've owned a number of them over the years. And loved them. I think the stuff that they're making, like now, the stuff they've been making within the last 6 months, it just seems like I didn't think they could step their game up, but it seems like they're stepping their game up. Just the voicing of these guitars, the execution of every single detail is just perfect on these guitars. Jandro, let's drool over this wood a little bit here.
Please.
We have an age tone Bearclaw Sitka spruce top, starting out with this OM42. A very three-dimensional Bearclaw Sitka spruce top there. Of course, the age tone is the torrefied process, or kind of the baked cooking process that they do to cook out all the kind of soft stuff, break down the cellular walls of the cells themselves, and kind of mimic what happens to a piece of wood over many decades of actually vibrating and being played. I think Dana's torrefied tops are some of the absolute best, if not the best in the business, as far as the actual mature tone that you absolutely, undeniably get out of them. This being a 42 style guitar, it's fairly well dressed up, and like I said, we've taken it a step or two or three further beyond that with some of the customizations. You can see all the beautiful abalone shell going around the top of the guitar, around the fingerboard extension here, on the rosette around the sound hole. We've even got the snowflakes down here on the bridge. The entire guitar is bound in a super curly koa binding. The back and sides of this guitar are also a jaw-dropping set of very curly, nice flamey koa there. Beautiful color, excellent tight flame to that grain, and just a lot of interesting grain vertically here as well in this back set. I failed to mention, but I will not now, that this is actually a deep body OM. I specifically spec'd this guitar this way because it's a koa back and side. So often 42, 45, whatever you want to call it, style guitars, fancier guitars have rosewood back and sides. Rosewood tends to do a lot of the heavy lifting for the bass response of the guitar. I wanted to deepen, I don't know why I couldn't get that word, deepen the body of this guitar. Koa tends to have some beautiful mid-range, some great brightness. It doesn't necessarily always have a big, gutsy bottom end to it, but with that deep body, you've got a little bit more air moving, a little bit more bass presence in there, and I think they did a great job of just voicing this exactly the way I had in mind, honestly, if not even better. It's a real intricate DB signature back strip there, running all the way down. Again, just the koa with the koa binding is just awesome. We even have the floating box tail wedge also done in koa. I love how they alternated the grain just direction compared to the actual sides of the guitar there. So sharp, so sharp. Very nice. The face of the headstock here, you can see we've got a beautiful Zerakote veneer on the face of the headstock. That is the presentation headstock inlay, the no logo version. Sorry about the focusing there, folks. We're going to try to hold this thing straight. We do have that gold Bourgeois logo on the back side of the headstock, though. Face of the fingerboard is a matching slab of incredibly figured Ziricote. I love matching Ziricote with Koa. Those two colors, the way they work together is just magical, and the intricate grain, but a very different figured grain compared to the Koa that the Ziricote has is really a stunning look. We also have the DB snowflake inlays on the face of the fingerboard of this guitar, tying in with the rest of the 42 style. And as I said before, inlaid bridge that is also done in Ziricote there, perfectly matching everything else. This guitar also has the Agetone proprietary finish. It has the Agetone torrefied Adirondack spruce braces. In that package, when you do the torrefied braces, they also give you the torrefied maple bridge plate in the guitar as well. So just all sorts of goodies in this guitar. Standard 1 3/4 inch nut width. Got the 2 5/16 spacing down here at the bridge again. So just... And if you ask me, that is quite a perfect tone, just right in the pocket, totally balanced. It does have some good meat on the bones when you dig in, give you that good bass. It does not get boxy sounding. I think this deep body with Koa back and sides might be a new trend that we latch onto here after hearing this one. Another with real nice sustain as well, man. That is very, very sharp guitar all the way around. Thanks, Jandro. Very sharp. All the figuring, holy cow. Very three-dimensional no matter where you look. It's pretty excellent. Pretty darn excellent.
All right, and we're done. That was the best one. No, I'm just kidding. That thing sounds amazing.
Surely does.
We got a question from Jim Bayerly that you might have some insight into.
Sure.
Just curious if anyone has used Thomastic infilled AC 111 plectrum acoustic strings.
No, I haven't. In fact, I don't think I've ever used any of the Tomastic infelled strings on acoustic at all. Correct me if I'm wrong. Aren't those really big in the bass world? Is that what I'm thinking of?
I haven't heard of them, so I'm not sure. But I've always just played NYXLs because I'm easy to please.
Jim, to answer your question, no, I haven't. Send me a set and I'll try them. I'm just kidding. No, I guess they've kind of been off my radar, to be perfectly honest with you, because so often I always default to Santa Cruz strings personally, but if in a pinch I need something else, D'Addario is what I reach for. And honestly, I don't even, outside of those, I don't even think about guitar strings anymore because I'm so satisfied with the Santa Cruz strings. But if you have tried them, tell us what you think of them. I'd be curious. Leave it in the comment there, and Jandro will read it to me.
And one more quick question before we get into this one. Rod is looking for a 00 cutaway with good projection, volume, and decent clarity and ease of playing. What do you favor between Bourgeois and Santa Cruz, and with what wood combination? Maybe just pick one out of thin air, and because I know there's a lot, you know.
The Bourgeois 00 coupe, I have to tell you, no, that's a 12 fret. I'm sorry. You're talking a 14 fret. Well, this is going to be even easier because Santa Cruz, in terms of Martin styled, Martin shaped, if we want to call it that, 14 fret 00, Santa Cruz doesn't even make one. So save your time there. Bourgeois most certainly does, and they'll build it with a cutaway for you. Something clear, balanced, man, I'll tell you, a nice European spruce over, if you don't want to spend $1 million, a nice European spruce over mahogany is tough to beat, especially with Bourgeois. Trust me, I know. Italian spruce over Honduran mahogany would be a great combo. You could do, let's just leave it there. I mean, a 00 cutaway with good spruce and mahogany. You don't need a whole lot more unless you just want more. But that would be a heck of a guitar. Thanks for the question. Folks, it's been a while since we've received a new Huss and Dalton from my friends at Huss and Dalton, and that's exactly what we're holding here. This is a DS12 custom. As always, my good friend Kimberly at Huss and Dalton never fails to email me photos of glorious sets of wood that they're able to find and process there for their guitars. That is exactly the case with this guitar here. That's kind of how it all started. She sent me this picture of this rosewood, and I said, yeah, we're gonna need that. As I said, this is a DS12. This is a dreadnought body, 12 fret neck joint here to the body. It seems like it would be kind of a large guitar, but I got to tell you, this is a rather comfortable guitar to play, considering it's a full-size dread, full body depth, all that. I got to tell you, the shorter neck, the way the neck shifts this direction on a 12 fret configuration is awfully comfortable to play. I'm not going to deny that at all. Let's take a gander at this beauty here. We've got a sinker redwood top on this guitar, and you can see that we did just the subtlest of sort of a shaded edge burst around the top of this guitar, giving it just a bit of dimension, which I thought really turned out great, especially with the dramatic sinker redwood top underneath that. It's a very, very, I gotta say, just the buffing job they did on this is amazing. It's very shiny, as silly as it sounds to say, but the body, the neck, and the headstock are all bound in Madagascar rosewood, beautifully done with some nice fine purfling there, framing everything in. The back and sides of this guitar are also Madagascar rosewood. Another beautiful, beautiful set of wood here, nice straight grain. Certainly appears to be a very stable looking piece of wood in terms of, I think it's going to last a pretty darn long time if it's well kept, well humidified, all that good stuff. Nice little Madagascar rosewood tail wedge there, all mitered in with the purfling and everything, very clean. We've got a figured, sorry, what is this? That is Madagascar rosewood, forgive me. Madagascar Rosewood headstock veneer on the face of the headstock there, of course, with the classic Huss and Dalton logo inlaid in mother of pearl. We've got gold Waverly tuning machines with snakewood buttons. We also have a Madagascar Rosewood fingerboard there, Madagascar Rosewood bridge, and we do have the standard snowflake inlays that would come as a standard option on the DS12 model. It's a really nice little touch of color. Of course, we've got the abalone rosette there, which I think just leaps out of that nice dark sinker redwood top there, tortoiseshell pickguard. Every guitar that Huss and Dalton builds comes standard with Adirondack spruce braces. So with that's already checked. This guitar is also constructed using hot hide glue. Pretty much all the boxes have been checked on this guitar. Their DS12 model, as you can imagine, a 12-fret dreadnought. In most cases, especially with an Adirondack top, stuff like that, in most cases that's going to be a powerhouse, loud, thick, full-sounding guitar. Without departing from that too much, I did want to make this example a little bit more friendly for folks who might not be pounding on it real hard, make it a little bit more touch-sensitive for the kind of fingerstyle crowd as well. Hence the beautiful sinker redwood top that we chose for this guitar. And I did, communicate with them. I would like this to have some nice responsiveness, sensitivity, and kind of allow it to be a pretty versatile guitar. And they took all of those suggestions and did a lot better than what I suggested. Just put it that way. Real high, chimey harmonics really singing through there. Boy, oh boy. Awesome. Dive right into that sound hole and live in there based on that sound. Awesome.
I actually have a couple questions about the Bourgeois we did right before that.
Yeah, sure.
Victor was curious what the wait time is for a custom Bourgeois these days.
Longer than ever, I hate to say. Who asked that? I'm sorry.
That's Victor.
Victor. We're about 2 years out, Victor. And if we were to get specs in pretty quickly, we're about 2 years out right now on a Bourgeois. which is far longer than their lead time has ever been, to my knowledge.
And what was the neck shape on that Bourgeois?
Good question. Standard OM neck shape, which is a very, very soft V profile. By the time you get up to about the 7th fret, that V profile is mostly gone, and you just have a nice even C profile to the neck. One of the best necks in the business, if you ask me. It's totally personal preference, so take that for what it's worth to you, but one of the best necks in the business, I think, and have thought that for quite some time. Folks, another guitar that we just received from my friend Jeff Jewitt out of Ohio. This is a 00 14 fret C model, or a 00 cutaway model from Jeff. I'll tell you what, I could spend the rest of the live stream and probably the rest of the night just talking about and looking at the details on this guitar, because it's like you keep looking and the cool stuff just keeps going around this guitar. Like I said, this is a 14 fret Venetian cutaway, or that nice soft cutaway on that guitar. This is a 24.9 inch scale length, which is kind of typical for your 14 fret 00 size guitar, traditionally speaking at least. Take a look at this top here. We have a Swiss moon spruce top, once again on this beautiful guitar. Really a spectacular example as well. I'm going to get up close on this rosette because it is absolutely excellent. I'm going to try to talk into these mics while I'm doing it. Got a spalted maple rosette, and if you get real close up on there, you can see that beautiful turquoise purfling on either side of that spalted maple ring there. Really fine detail. If you get even closer, you can see that turquoise actually goes all the way around the top of the guitar, the sides of the guitar, the side of the fingerboard, and even turquoise inlays as your position markers. Now those are not fiber the way that the purfling is. This is actual reconstituted turquoise on the player facing dot markers there. And to save myself and you all some time, I'm just going to tell you that purfling goes all the way around every single panel, every angle of this guitar. Back and sides, everywhere. It's incredible. The color of that bluish, greenish turquoise against the super warm, very organic looking wood is just really something else. Beautifully done. And I'm sorry to do this to you. I knew I was going to.
Skip the back.
Back and sides are a beautiful set of the famous Hibden hardwood Fiddleback Mahogany. Beautiful set of wood here. We were actually able to select this set in person from our friends at Hibden Hardwoods here in St. Louis, Missouri, and send a couple sets of this off to Jeff to build us a few guitars. This is obviously the first one that he has made, and man, oh man, I think Jeff was an awfully big fan of working with this wood in terms of just the kind of how it felt, how it sort of, rang when you just physically handled the raw pieces of wood. All pretty special stuff. Really beautiful wood. I'm really glad that we were able to sort of collaborate in this way with Jeff and send him this wood. Really beautiful example here. On the face of the headstock, we've got a Zerakote veneer. We've got Jeff's cat eye inlays on the face of the headstock there as well. We also have a Zerakote truss rod cover tying in perfectly. These are the antiqued chrome Godot 510 tuning machines. And I got to tell you, it's rare to see these anymore. And I got to tell you, these are some of my favorite tuning machines, just simply the appearance of them. I love Godot 510s no matter what. The appearance of these, though, to me is spot on. The less gold, the better in some cases. And in this case, I think it ties in perfectly. But as I said, the face of the fingerboard is also done in Zerakote. There are no position markers, no front-facing position markers, aside from the 12th fret flourish down here. And again, we've just got a lot of figuring. Excuse the hand condensation there, but a lot of figuring in that Ziracote fingerboard, as well as that Ziracote belly bridge down there. Perfectly tied in. The binding all around this guitar is done in rosewood. We also have a mini bevel right up here, which is very, very subtle. But I got to tell you, as far as bevels go, this is a just incredibly well executed one. It's so subtle, but it accomplishes exactly what a bevel is supposed to, is to give you that nice round kind of chamfered edge there on the guitar. It perfectly accomplishes that without giving you a glaringly obvious, huge thing over here saying, hey, this is a, radically different looking guitar. Very subtle, very perfectly done, if you ask me. Again, just a beautiful little guitar, very, very friendly to play. We have the standard 1 3/4 inch nut. We have the 2 1/4 spacing down here at the bridge as well. And the neck on this guitar is not totally dissimilar. We were talking about that Bourgeois neck. It has a very, very slight V profile in the first couple positions. And then again, by the time you get to the 6th, 7th fret, it pretty much rounds into a nice C profile. Very friendly for fingerstyle playing. It just kind of has like a classic, sort of Martin-esque kind of feel to the neck, but I think even more refined. Nice warmth to this guitar, but absolutely not at the expense of clarity at all. Especially considering it's that nice moon spruce top over mahogany. It's It's a really light guitar as well. You know, Spruce and Mahogany should typically make a pretty light guitar, but this is definitely a nice light resonant guitar. Really fantastic work from Jeff. And again, very glad we were able to kind of collaborate with the wood selection on this with Jeff.
So, given the fact that it's about 100 degrees today in St. Louis, James Bertels is curious, what's your go-to beater guitar? What are you taking outside?
Good question.
I think I know the answer to this one.
Do you?
McPherson, right? Carbon
I mean,
fiber.
Is that a beater guitar?
Well, okay, that's not really a beater guitar, but
it's an outside-friendly guitar,
yeah.
for sure. Jandro's talking about the carbon fiber Sable McPherson guitars, which are most certainly outdoor, sweaty, humid weather friendly. Beater guitar, probably not what I would qualify as a beater guitar. You know, the complicated thing with a beater junkie, don't necessarily care about it a whole bunch guitar in inclement, conditions is sometimes they just don't hold up themselves. Tuning stability can be crazy in terms of, just keeping the thing in tune while you're trying to play it with high humidity and all that good stuff. First thing that comes to mind is like a Yamaha FG. What are those, Jandro? FG8.
FG30 or something? I mean, they're like the $400.
Exactly. The $350 Yamaha Dreadnought, man. They're
for like Indonesian acoustic guitars. Those are
indestructible enough, but if you do break it, it doesn't completely break the bank to go, buy another one. And they're pretty darn accessible too, as far as what I've seen. Yeah, I mean, we're not a Yamaha dealer, but honestly, that's probably the best pick for something that's not, into a crazy price range. Yeah, Yamaha it is. I had an old 1970 Yamaha that I desperately wish that I still had. I wouldn't play it because the neck was too narrow on it, but boy, oh boy, that thing sounded better than it should have.
We have Randy Weimer in the chat, too.
Randy, great to have you, my friend. Come see us and come play some more guitars for us. Folks, if you are not familiar with the name Randy Weimer, make yourself familiar. He's been in a number of our demos over the past few years here. He's been gracious enough to come in and play some of our favorite guitars in a shockingly beautiful way. His talent, his original arrangements, his instruction that he has online, weimerguitar.com. Go to it now. Open a tab, get there. We'll finish the live stream, and then we'll all go meet there later. And, Randy, thanks for joining us.
Randy was curious if Jeff makes that in a 12 fret.
He most certainly can. And we're going to talk about that more when you come in next, Randy.
Cool.
And you are going to play that guitar, assuming it's still here when you come in. So, yes, it can be had in a 12 fret, though, and Jeff would be delighted to build you one, I'm sure. Folks, we've just reached what will likely be the powerhouse off the wall today. This is from our friends at Preston Thompson Guitars. This is a D-MRA, or otherwise a dreadnought with, sorry for the fruit flies in here, Adirondack Spruce and Madagascar Rosewood on the back and sides. And this is a pretty traditionally built guitar, herringbone dreadnought, ivory binding, very much so 28 herringbone style guitar. Jandro, let's take a gander here, if you would, please. We've started this build off with an Adirondack spruce top. Very common for us to do on the dreadnoughts from Preston Thompson. A great example of a nice, very clean Adirondack top on this guitar. Nice blonde color. Just great looking top on this guitar. Back and sides are a killer set of Madagascar Rosewood. I'm going to try to get up close once again on this just to spoil us a bit. Traditional kind of 28 style zipper or zigzag back strip, depending on which terminology you prefer. And as I said, the body itself is bound in a grained ivoroid binding, matching heel cap there. We also have the tail wedge there done in grained ivoroid, very traditional. Got a figured ebony veneer on the face of the headstock with that mother of pearl Thompson logo, and also an ebony fingerboard and bridge. And we do have the notched diamond and square inlays on the face of the fingerboard there. Again, just basically a 28 style guitar in terms of its physical appearance here. That's kind of, I shouldn't say that's where it ends, but from there, it's a Thompson, very much so. Powerful, rich, punchy. Everything a great Rosewood Dread ought to be. Has that nice kind of wet, almost reverby tone to it, but it has that growl too, absolutely, power growl to it. Certainly one of those guitars that when you pick it up at home, everyone in your house is going to know you're playing guitar. And if you dig in a little bit harder, like I was there towards the end, you best believe your neighbors are going to know you're playing guitar as well. This sucker is loud. And it's not just loud. When you get it up to that, it's like, wow, that's where it really wants to live. It definitely handles the general rhythm stuff just fine, but man, oh man, when you get after it on this guitar, that's when it really starts singing. Just realizing as I was playing this guitar, I don't even remember the last time we had a Preston Thompson in a live stream. Jandro, you might recall better than I, but these things sell so rapidly that usually by the time the live stream comes around, if we have received one, they're gone by then. So this probably won't last very long if past events are any indication whatsoever, but
hard to hold on to those.
it is, man, I'll tell you. And seems like the folks that get them rarely let them go. I think they understand what those things are about. Folks, we're down to our last two here off the wall today. And they are extra special. Let's just say it. Jandro, I am going to get carried away, and we are going to be late leaving today, so let's go ahead and get this out of the way. Folks, I cannot really overstate the incredible aspect of the actual top of this guitar. This is one of Froggy Bottom's rather famous vintage German spruce tops. Yes, they have German spruce. It's phenomenal. That ain't this, though. This is their vintage German spruce, sometimes referred to as their 1886 German spruce. It is incredibly old stuff. You can tell by looking at it. It is incredibly tight-grained stuff with just a crazy amount of that silking or medullary ray that you have across that entire soundboard. When we popped this guitar open for the first time when it came in just the other day, I was looking at it and the color and just the perfection of it, and I thought, man, this is like the best looking Sitka spruce top I've ever seen in my life. And I realized Froggy Bottom doesn't build very much with Sitka spruce, and I didn't order a Sitka spruce guitar from Froggy Bottom. All that said to say, the perfection of this is not like something you see in German spruce very often. And like I said, this is particularly old stuff that's been around, not in tree form for a very long time, which is pretty important. Back and sides of this guitar are a filthy amazing set of highly figured koa on the back and sides of this guitar. We also bound this guitar, the body at least, in koa as well. So you've got just a slightly darker koa binding compared to the actual panels on the back and side there. We've got that beautiful abalone rosette going around the sound hole, as you can see there. We've got the matching back strip done in abalone going down the center of the back. Nice, beautiful koa heel cap, and I love this detail that they do around the neck heel here with the all the purfling, purfling, yes, and also the mitering work done in the purfling. Also have the nice wedge down here, done in koa as well. Tremendous details from our friends at Froggy there. Did I mention that this was a Model M even yet? I put
it on the screen. That's all good.
the wood has gotten me very distracted on this guitar. This is a Model M Deluxe, which is kind of like almost a mini jumbo, if you will, even smaller than some people's interpretation of a small jumbo. It's a 25.25 inch scale length, if I recall correctly. We have the 1 3/4 inch nut on this guitar. We have the 2 5/16 spacing at the bridge on this guitar. This is a 14 fret. The Model M Deluxe is a 14 fret. We also have the split diamond fingerboard inlays on the face of the fingerboard here, and a Madagascar Rosewood veneer on the face of the headstock, of course, with the Froggy Bottom logo all the way up top. If you know anything about Eddie's guitars, you know that we love our Froggy Bottoms here. And man, oh man, Jandro and I were setting up earlier today for the live stream, tuning up some of the guitars, and both of us, when this guitar came off the wall to tune up and fiddling with it a bit, we were losing our minds a little bit here. I'm going to need a moment to myself, Jandro.
Get a room.
Wow. Folks, the Model M Deluxe in the vintage German spruce, and just beautiful figured koa back and sides on this guitar. Whoever ends up with this, I've said this before, please live in St. Louis, please. Amazing, amazing guitar.
Is that a bolt-on neck?
The Froggy bottoms are not. No, they are
neck.
dovetail neck joints.
Cool.
Compound dovetail neck joints. But I will tell you, we absolutely do not discriminate on whether it be a dovetail or a bolt-on neck, mortise and tenon, you know, whatever the situation is. We do not discriminate on that at all. And this guy right here that made this guitar is one of the reasons why, honestly. On paper, you know, everything about a solid wood, a mechanical wood joint with glue in there. On paper, everything about that should seem superior, but I'll tell you what, when you pick up a Dana Bourgeois guitar or go on down the list of other, bolt-on neck acoustic guitars, when you pick one of these up, you can't deny that these got it too. I mean, they just do. Folks, we have reached probably what I'm going to go ahead and declare is probably one of the more dramatic-looking guitars off the wall today, and we're gonna see why here in just a second when I flip this thing around. But this is a Dana Bourgeois OMC Soloist. The Soloist has been a model for a long time. It is one of my favorite models from Dana Bourgeois and his crew there. As always, we took the basis of that, model and guitar and threw a lot of the ingredients out the window and said, let's kind of do something different here, but kept the important platform of kind of what makes the Soloist the Soloist. Let's take a gander here. We've got a Sinker Redwood top on this guitar. A couple Sinker Redwood guitars on the wall today. Beautiful, beautiful example here. And the Soloist sort of treatment on the aesthetics we'll take a look at here. You've got that beautiful rosette there done in maple and different wood fibers. You also have that Soloist purfling. Let's get a close-up of that if we can. Really nice little band of maple with some black, white, black around the maple itself. Really subtle until you get up close on it. It's got some nice detail in there going all the way around the top. We're going to save the back and sides for a second here. Face of the headstock on this guitar is a beautiful slab of Brazilian rosewood. Hint, hint. We have ebony buttons with the nickel Waverly tuning machines on this guitar. Very much so in the Soloist style. Soloist guitars also typically will always have the pyramid bridge as opposed to the belly bridge that you'll see on many, many OMs out there. The very earliest OMs that Martin actually built in 1930, most of which had pyramid bridges. Of course, later on they switched to belly bridges. Use a little bit more substantial construction there, but we really like the OMs with that smaller maple bridge plate. The smaller bridge itself makes for a super responsive, especially on the finger style end of things, makes for a really responsive, light, airy response out of the top itself. We're still gonna save the back on this for just 2 seconds here, just because I'm going to tease people. We have the short pattern diamond and square fingerboard inlay on this guitar, and of course the neck and the headstock are all bound as well in Ziricote, as well as the body, which I had failed to mention until now. We also have that nice forearm bevel done in Ziricote there. Dana does a beautiful job of that, and a very beautiful, ooh baby, tail wedge there, box tail wedge done in Ziricote. And if the bottom of this guitar is any hint to its insanity of woods, we're just going to go ahead and show you. One of the most extreme looking sets of Brazilian rosewood I've seen in a very long time. When you pick this up, believe me, you are going to know it is your guitar. If you have never seen Brazilian rosewood like this, almost marbled looking. I think somebody took an extra dose of magic mushrooms when they were growing this tree, perhaps, because it's got some very psychedelic stuff happening in there. I'm just going to give you a close-up of this real wild-looking stuff, just so you can see the intense spider webbing. Wrong way. The colors, boy oh boy, the richness of the color and the contrast that's been achieved here in the finish process of this piece of wood is nothing to ignore at all. The sides are perfectly matched with just that amazing, incredible, one-of-a-kind figure. Really, really spectacular stuff here.
So perfectly symmetrical.
It is. I mean, it's nuts. It is really nuts. I selfishly, I wish I could have seen a photo of this wood in raw form, just out of curiosity. Not that it makes any difference at this point, but just out of curiosity, it would have been fun to see. And I got to tell you, this very much so has a soloist voice to it. However, I think with the Sinker Redwood top, it's got even an extra level of that glassiness, that real rich harmonic thing happening there that is just, man, it makes you want to play dramatic stuff. Perfection in a curvy wooden box, folks. Man, absolute insanity. Both tonally, visually, playability, everything. should have mentioned this is a standard scale length, 25.5-inch scale, 1 3/4 nut, 2 5/16 spacing, if I didn't already mention all that. Torrefied, H-tone, Adirondack spruce braces, which have all been carved by Dana, voiced by Dana. Animal protein glue, H-tone, proprietary finish. Every single box has been checked on this guitar. We have left nothing undone whatsoever, nor have the folks at Bourgeois. Jandro, we're at the end of the line here. What do you like?
Ooh, well,
I know we've only got 7 guitars today. Normally we've got 8 or 10, sometimes 12. This might be the hardest pick, though.
I was gonna go with the Bourgeois OM42 deep body.
Yeah.
The number 2 slot there, but
thanks.
After hearing that Thompson, the D-MRA,
that's a big boy. Yeah.
I don't know, there's something about that, like that headroom and that projection and volume and
the growl.
The
it's
growl,
got, man. Yeah, absolutely.
That's something. But then, of course, every guitar you played after that, the Froggy and this Bourgeois also.
Yeah.
So don't make me pick
that
man.
Froggy, man. I got to tell you, that's a frightening guitar. As is this. As is the Jewitt. As is the other Bourgeois. As is the Huss. As is the Roggero.
Yeah.
As is the I mean,
it's straight heat today.
Somebody kick me out of here.
We had a couple of questions about the Bourgeois you're holding.
Yeah.
Isn't straight grain still the best for Brazilian and other woods?
Straight grain quarter sawn stuff tends to be the most stable. However, I love getting guitars like this in here because people ask me questions. Who asked that? I'm sorry.
This is Mark Vino.
Mark, I appreciate you asking that because I usually, yes, I default to a straighter grain, something kind of tight, something kind of as quarter sawn as possible. We were looking at, what was it, the Roggero over here, the first guitar. That is a beautiful example of what you're talking about. Very, very clean, very uniform looking all the way down. From a stability standpoint, yes. From a tonal standpoint, sure, it's awesome as well. But man, I'll tell you what, if you're going to listen to this guitar and tell me it doesn't sound as good as straight grained examples, I'm going to call you crazy. I'm sorry, Mark, but I'm going to. And I got to tell you too, this is not a guitar I would kick out of bed if I found it laying next to me, sort of thing.
Speaking of the back, do they do anything besides pour, fill, and finish to achieve the differentiation in color?
No,
Ian asked.
That's what's absolutely amazing. That's why I said, was it this one I said that? Yeah, it was. I kind of wish I would have been able to see this in raw form. Of course, it gets more dramatic when you put a glossy finish on it and polish it and spend days upon days upon days on sanding and buffing. Of course, it's going to look more dramatic and more three-dimensional. But boy, I mean, I've been through enough, guitar manufacturing facilities and seen wood like this in raw form to know, holy cow, the contrast that it has when it looks like a bone-dry chalkboard, very almost chalky looking. It still has that contrast from the lights to darks and the, just the variance of the color. Really impressive. And of course, not all Rosewood has that. Of course, some of it is super uniform all the way through. Nothing wrong with either of them, if you ask me. And quickly, Jandro, just to circle back to the, isn't straight grain better, typically speaking. I put so much faith in the folks that build these guitars, most certainly Dana Bourgeois and his crew, that if for some reason this guitar or a guitar like it ever had a grain wood related issue, which it probably honestly won't, but if it ever did, you better believe that those folks are going to be enthusiastic about righting that and correcting that. Let's just leave it there. That's all that needs to really be said, but that's a good question.
Yeah, I'm seeing people's favorites are going to be the Huss and Dalton slope shoulder.
That Huss is a banger.
Let's see, what else?
The cool thing about the Huss is These all sound amazing. The versatility that guitar's got is special. Way it can roar, but then also do the kind of delicate finger style stuff too. Is they sure delivered what I ordered. Any other favorites there, Hondi?
The Roggero says Remos Forza. Cool.
You said Remo likes the Roggero?
Mm-hmm.
Nice. I'll tell you, that what an absolute perfect first impression for a builder to make on. And believe me, we're pretty picky here, and Bryce really did a great job on that guitar. We will, like I said, with enthusiasm, be ordering more guitars with Bryce and getting them in our shop here based on this example here. Super glad to have his stuff under our roof here. So very cool stuff. Anything else for me there?
Don't think so.
Folks, thank you so much again for joining us. We really appreciate you being here on our Friday live streams and sharing some of the joy of these amazing instruments here. We will collect some more new guitars over the next couple weeks here, come to you live again. Do keep an eye out for our live stream announcements. We try to have a little bit of goofy fun with those, and to let you know we're going to be doing these at the end of the week. So keep an eye out for those. Have a fabulous weekend, and we'll catch you all next time.